being tricked, making the move, and not being ashamed. So first, being tricked. I want to start off by sharing with you my experience yesterday. I was walking up and down the hallways looking for everybody. I didn't see anybody. I didn't see you. I was like, where's everybody at? I was looking into the classrooms. Nobody was in the classrooms, the hallways. It was about 12:30, 12 o'clock, right at the time, maybe they're eating lunch somewhere different. I look in the gym. Maybe everyone's just out at recess right now. Take a peek out there. No. And then I caught word that after I came back in, I caught word that it was a snow day. So I looked outside the window and I saw no snow. I'm like, no, that can't be it. What's going on? Maybe they're playing a trick on me. Maybe they're hiding. So I'm convinced that you guys were just hiding on me yesterday, given the fact 1 o'clock, there's no snow outside, and it was a snow day, right? So I think you all had a really good hiding spot somewhere in the school. So some of you, I want you to tell me where you were hiding, okay? But I think you were tricking me. But being tricked isn't not something that Jesus is doing in our gospel today. But we know that in many ways, you and I are being tricked by some people. So sometimes, Jesus talks in parables. We know parables that he gives to kind of get his point across, for Jesus to tell people important messages. He uses stories, parables. That is not what he's doing today. Jesus is being very clear, very direct, very forthright. Did you hear what he says? He says, if you want to follow me, you've got to deny yourself. Pick up your cross. We got to deny ourselves. Pick up our cross. And he says, whoever loses his life, whoever gives it away, then you'll gain your life. Jesus being very clear, very direct, very straightforward, saying, follow me, deny yourself, give it away. Boys and girls, the problem is that we're being tricked. I was tricked growing up. Everyone's being tricked. And I would say, especially you're being tricked. The youth are being tricked by the world to say, no. If you want to be happy, just look out for yourself. Try to gain everything for yourself. Put your best interests first. Just think about yourself. Strive for, at all costs, to be, even if it's at a cost of, what does Jesus say? He says, what profit is there if one gains the whole world? Maybe you gain all the money, all the power, you're the highest position in your company, in your job. You become the president of the United States. You gain the world, you gain everything. But says, what profit it? What good is it if you gain all those things, if you do all those things and you forfeit your life? If you're not following Jesus. He's saying it's no good. As I said before to you, if you call me up in 30 years from now and say, Father Mark, you won't believe it. Did you see the news? Did you see it on the news? I'm your president, Father Mark. I became the president. And I'm going to say, whoa, that's awesome. And then my first question, I'll ask a couple questions. I'll say, do you know Jesus? Are you friends with him? Are you of high moral character? Do you tell the truth? Do you not lie? Are you kind to others? Do you not speak bad about them? And if you say, oh, shoot, I became president, or I reached the top of my company, but I lost friendship with Jesus in the midst of doing it. My character's not very good. I kind of lied to get to be president. And I currently lie. And I wasn't kind, and I'm not a kind person. You know what I'm going to say on the phone? I'm going to say, don't tell anybody you went to Notre Dame, okay? Like, well, Father Mark, they became president. What do you mean you don't want them to know? Boys and girls, because if you gain the whole world, if you become the president, if you become the greatest athlete, if you're the next Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi, or you're the next Steph Curry, but you don't know Jesus, and you're not of good character, Jesus says you lose your life. You forfeit your life. And boys and girls, be careful not to be tricked. Be careful not to be tricked, because the world is tricking us and saying, don't worry about denying yourself. Don't worry about picking up your cross. So be careful not to be tricked. So what's the move to make? What move should we make? What's the action? What's the decision we should make today? It's this. Today, make a decision in our hearts, make a prayer, say, Jesus, I give you my life today. Today, I decide, help me, Lord, to put you first in my life. Help me to deny myself, to pick up my cross that you've given me, because life's not easy. No matter what vocation the Lord's called us to, whether it's marriage, whether it's to be a priest, a religious sister, whatever it is, as a job, we know that's not easy, and everything's gonna have a cross. To say, Lord, help me pick up that cross by keeping you first. I give you my life. I surrender my life to you. Why? Because what does Jesus say? He says, whoever loses his life for my sake, Jesus says, you'll gain the whole world. Give my life away. If I give my life away to Jesus, I gain everything. Everything. But I've got to make the move. I've got to make the move and give my life to him and put him first. Which brings me lastly to not be ashamed. Because here's the thing, boys and girls. Jesus says, when you make the move and you give me your life, you surrender your life to me, you decide to be somebody, to strive to be of high moral character and strive for excellence and to be a friend of Jesus, says, when you do that, just don't be ashamed of it. Don't be ashamed of me, he says, and my words in this faithless and sinful generation. Boys and girls, sometimes we don't follow Jesus. Sometimes we don't listen to his words because we're afraid of what other people will think of us. Even the littlest things in our classrooms, with our friends, and maybe they're saying things that it's like, you know what? This is not how a Christian should talk. This is not how a Christian should act. I'm a follower of Jesus. But you know what? Right now I'm ashamed of being a follower of Jesus, because all my friends are kind of have an opinion that's outside of Jesus's words. So you know what? I'm a little ashamed of that. I'm going to come over here. Jesus says, be careful. Don't be ashamed of me. And here's the reality, boys and girls. More and more people today are choosing to not give their life to Jesus. Yeah. More and more people are choosing not to do that. When your grandparents were younger, more of their friends and more of their people, the people that they went to high school with, it was more of a common thing that their friends in high school, that they were a follower of Jesus and his words. Today, more and more people are not doing that. So when you get younger ones here, when you get to junior high, or my junior hires as you get to high school, please be ready. Be ready with the fact that when you walk down the hallways and when you go to high school, more and more people are being tricked to say, my life is about me. I'm not picking up the cross and following him. Boys and girls, is Jesus somebody who tricks us? Should we ever be ashamed of Jesus? No. Boys and girls, to not be tricked, the move to make is to give our life today to Jesus, to surrender our life to him. When we do so, we will gain everything when we do that. And then, boys and girls, when we do make that move, let us not be ashamed of making that move.